So prior to the 2025 NFL Draft kicking off, if you asked any Washington Commanders fan what the team needs to do in this year's draft in terms of upgrading, they'll tell you something along the lines of, man, we need an edge rusher, we need a running back, we need a cornerback, we need to do better at the wide receiver position. They would give you a list of players and positions that they think the Washington Commanders should attack. And not to say that we're wrong as fans, because we're not. We're entitled to our own opinion because we love this team and we know this team like the back of our hands. So we know the strengths and weaknesses of the Washington Commanders. However, unlike in years past, this regime knows what they're doing. I say that to say a lot of fans were questioning the Washington Commanders draft from the very start when the Washington Commanders selected tackle Josh Connelly Jr. from Oregon. Now that the draft has completed, I can finally say Adam Peters has outsmarted the entire NFL, including his own fan base. Let's talk about it.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jaden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jaden Daniels' career and he's already milking injuries? Like,
Nigga, stop saying my name, you dick riding bastard. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, and shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's love again now. She's confident.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video where we're going to be talking about how Washington Commanders General Manager Adam Peters outsmarted everyone, including his own fan base, yet again. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. Also, check out my fitness channel, link down below in the description. I just dropped a new video and a new song on there called 21 Years of Venting. It's a very, very deep song for me, so go ahead and check that out, link down below in the description. With all that out the way, let's get straight to it. So who on their bingo card had the Washington Commanders selecting left tackle, or tackle for that matter, Josh Connelly Jr. in the first round? I'll be honest with you, I don't think anyone saw this coming. Well, I'll take that back. I'm sure there were a few guys and girls out there in Commanders land that said they needed to upgrade offensive line. But for the most part, we thought it was going to be running back. We thought it could have been corner. We thought it could have been edge rusher, because those were a lot of the positions that we felt like needed to be filled. Did you catch the key word I said? Holes that needed to be filled. Well, guys, let's stop right there. A lot of Washington Commanders fans was getting bent out of shape because they looked at Washington's draft and said, why are we taking a left tackle at 29? Why aren't we drafting an edge rusher? Why aren't we drafting a running back? Because why? You guys feel like those are the needs of the team, which you're not wrong for, but the philosophy of this regime is different. They do not use the draft for needs, they use the draft for best player available. And along with getting best player available, the reason why I think Washington Commanders fans also was upset at some of the picks was because some fans are thinking narrow. They're thinking in the moment. They're thinking, what can this guy immediately come in and do for me now? But the general manager, Adam Peters, is thinking 3, 4, 5 years from now how he can set us up for success in the future. Listen to me. Adam Peters genuinely cooked. Let me break it down to you. So Washington goes with Josh Connelly Jr. at 29, right? Okay, the initial thought is, whoa, what the heck? Why did we just do that if we signed Laremy Tunsil? Well, guys, yes, we did trade for Laremy Tunsil, but if you look at his contract, he can have an out after this season. So it's basically a 1-year rental. So Adam Peters drafted Josh Connelly Jr. for a multitude of reasons. 1, he was more likely than not the best player available at the time, and 2, he can be a potential filler for a hole. Now look, Laremy Tunsil's on a 1-year deal. Say he balls out and he gets a contract extension from us. Okay, cool. You give him a contract extension, he signed him to a 3-year deal. He's left tackle. Well, right tackle is still open as well, as we know Andrew Wiley will not be back here next year. It was even close to him getting cut this year if he didn't take a reconstruction. So we know he is gone. Well, that's where Josh Connelly Jr. slides in at right tackle, and then you put Brandon Coleman at left guard, guard or right guard until Sam Cosmi comes back, but more likely than not left guard. And then Andrew Wiley goes to right guard until Sam Cosmi comes back. But then you look at it like this as well if you flip it on his head. Well, Laremy Tunsil was not that good of an experiment. He was okay, but he's not worth giving another contract extension to. Okay, cool. You get out of that contract after this year, 1 year rental. But look, you're not left with the hole because now you have a first-round tackle that you spent on last year in Josh Connelly Jr. that can go ahead and plug back in to play left tackle. And then you can maybe move Brandon Coleman to right tackle if it comes down to something like that. You see the different philosophy and different ways we could maneuver this offensive line now with adding Josh Connelly Jr. to the mix. That is why I say Adam Peters is building for the future while also having a guy that can come in and be an impactful player. Had we would have went with Mike Green, or had we would have went with Omarion Hampton if he was there, or anybody else that you wanted Washington to select, we would potentially still be having holes on the roster at left tackle and other positions because there's no future set at those positions, if you get what I'm trying to say. Yes, this year is covered, but what about 26? What about 27? What about 28? We would have been in a hole. And the biggest reason of it all why I support it is because you're selecting a guy that is going to help protect your biggest investment in franchise history. You will never have me upset at a team trying to protect a quarterback, a rare talent like Jaden Daniels. And also, if you have any concerns about why we got Josh Connelly Jr., just look at that Detroit Lions game and wipe out the concern and look about it as a positive light. Look at how much time Jaden Daniels had in that pocket versus the Detroit Lions. We're trying to find a way to create that on a consistent basis for 17 weeks. If we can get a pocket like that on a consistent basis for 17 weeks, oh man, every game is going to be like the Detroit Lions blowout that we had in the NFC divisional round. So let me let you in on another reason why I think Adam Peters just outsmarted the whole entire fan base. See, the Washington Commanders play in a really tough division. The NFC East, arguably the best division in football. And when you look at every single team in the NFC East, they have pretty good pass rushes, right? You look at the Dallas Cowboys, they have Micah Parsons, who's one of the, if not the best pass rusher in all of football. Well, they got a young fella by the name of DeMario Overshown. When healthy, he is an absolute menace. Then they just added another pass rusher from Boston College, right? Then you look over at the New York Giants.
I don't know why I said Azeez Ojulari. This is who I meant. I meant Brian Burns, not Azeez Ojulari. Forgive me.
They already had a guy like Azeez Ojulari. They had, obviously, Dexter Lawrence in the middle. They have Kayvon Thibodeau. Now they add Abdul Carter with the 3rd overall selection. Oh, my God, that is insane. Then you go to the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions. We already know how good their defense is, especially with Vic Fangio calling the shots. Every team's pass rush in the NFC East, not named Washington Commanders, is absolute scurry. So instead of Adam Peters trying to keep up the pace and draft an outstanding edge rusher at 29, he said, no, I'm going to be the team that is going to stop and minimize the other division team's pass rush. So let me go ahead and get Josh Connelly Jr. The Washington Commanders' philosophy was to let me match my division team, but the opposite way. So instead of me getting an edge rusher, instead of me getting a really good back and free agency, instead of me getting 2 really good safeties in the draft and a really good cornerback and Quinyon Mitchell in the first 3 rounds at the time of the first round pick, let me go ahead and do the flip reverse. Let me get Josh Connelly Jr. to stop the pass rush. Let me get Trey Amos in the 2nd round to stop CeeDee Lamb, to stop Devonta Smith, to stop AJ Brown, to stop Malik Neighbors. Let me shut down what my division is doing, and that's something that we struggle with doing in the past, right? Now we have guys that can match up with the rest of your division, and that's what's most important if you ask me. And we literally went from Benjamin St. Ass and Emmanuel Forbes and Michael Davis to Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Amos, and Mikey Samberstill and Jonathan Jones in literally a span of 1 season. That is insane. And Trey Amos is literally the type of corner that every Commanders fan been wanting. Another boundary corner, a press corner that isn't going to allow the receiver to breathe. This guy is physical at the line of scrimmage. He is primarily a press guy, so he's going to be able to get up into into the mid of Malik Neighbors, get into the face of a CeeDee Lamb, get physical with these guys. And that is a lot of things that these receivers thrive best at. They know these cornerbacks don't want to get in fist fights and get physical with them at the line of scrimmage. Well, Trey Amos loves to, and we clearly know Marshawn Lattimore loves to. And Mikey Samuel, although he is undersized, he's not afraid to come down and tackle and not afraid to play in your face as well. And him going to the slot more likely than not is going to allow him to do that much more at a better clip. As if it couldn't already get any better for the Washington Commanders this draft. After drafting Josh Connelly Jr., potential franchise tackle, whether it's left or right, for the next decade plus with Jaden Daniels. Then you draft another boundary corner that has potential cornerback one superstar stardom status on him in the future to pair with Marshawn Lattimore. They go out and they get Jalen Lane, wide receiver from VTech. Now originally it's like, whoa, this guy doesn't have much collegiate stats. Why did we go out and get this kind of receiver? Well, what's something that we have been crying for years now, since prime Jamison Crowder, since DeAndre Carter for that 1 year, and even taking it all the way back to my childhood and vividly watching number 16 Brandon Banks. We have not had a legit kick returner and punt returner for years. Well, now we do. And not only is Jalen Lane a prolific kick returner and punt returner, he's a speed demon, 4.3 40. He can also take the top off of a defense, and he can maybe be that De'Ami Brown replacement on a high-end level, right? Low-end level, this is a low-risk, high-reward in terms of him having that Kayvon Turpin ability, Cordell Patterson return ability, hopefully, right? But at another level, it's like, man, this guy could reach as high as maybe De'Ami Brown, replacing him as the deep threat, because we honestly don't really have, outside of Sergeant McLaurin and maybe Deebo Samuel, we don't have a true deep threat anymore. So I like this move as well. And could he be battling out with Luke McCaffrey for one of the wide receiver spots this upcoming season? Probably. But now Jalen Lane here, he kills two birds with one stone, something that we have not had in years. And then the Washington Commanders draft linebacker Kane Medrano from UCLA. Sorry if I butchered his name, but this guy has strong connection with Ken Norton Jr., the linebackers coach, who he got coached by at UCLA. And he literally texted Ken Norton Jr. 10 minutes prior to us picking him and said, come get me. And the second that we got him, he literally answered the phone and said, thank you, Coach Shadan Quinn, for drafting me. You won't regret it. Thank you for taking a chance on me. And something about that guy strikes me in the positive way. I love hearing guys like this. This could potentially be the Bobby Wagner suitor, right? Once Bobby Wagner is ready to step down, this guy could be it. Then Jordan McGee, hopefully he steps in and he could be that next Frankie Louvu, while obviously still having Frankie Louvu, because we expect to have him for years coming on. But those three guys being your future linebacking core, oh my God, it's speed, speed, speed. One thing we lacked everywhere last year was speed, 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 and we got all of that. Even our left tackle was quick. And to close out the draft, Adam Peters gave every Washington Commanders fan what they've been waiting for all draft long. He said, hey, look, I may have made y'all wait, but I didn't forget. As they draft running back Jacoby Krosky-Murd from Arizona, the running back room has had an upgrade. Speed and young athleticism added to this locker room. That's everything that we've been wanting for this running back room. So again, we only have 5 picks, but I think Adam Peters potentially just went 5 for 5, had yet another really good draft, and he had a draft so good that it outsmarted his own fan base, had his own fan base turning on him and flipping out. But after this video and me explaining it into further detail, their philosophy, I hope you guys understand and you can take a deep breath and calm down, because Chef Adam Peters cooked yet again. I think Jacoby Krosky-Murd is going to be a lot of fans' favorite once training camp is underway, along with Trey Amos. With that being said, as always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. We greatly appreciate if you reach that goal as soon as possible. Leave your thoughts down below. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. I love y'all. Y'all be safe. Peace.
Never gave a ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a line.